Howdy, howdy. Today we're going to be working on welcome to the Fox Shop. Today I'm going to be working on these radius arms again. I've been thinking about this for the last week, and I just don't like the way that everything is set up. I think what the problem is, I'll show you here real quick, is if you watched last week, I repositioned, kind of repositioned things. This radius arm under here, comfy. You can see that red bushing, which is a polyurethane bushing out of a energy suspension kit. Basically what I did is I just put it in front of a Moog rubber bushing, that black one right there, and that moved the whole setup, the wheel and everything, axle, about ½ inch forward. I'm still not quite to my 133 wheelbase. It's real close, but what I don't like about this, and it's hard to tell by looking at it here, this back bushing right here, which only goes from into my fingertip on the left side, right there to there. I just don't think that's going to be enough. And if it is, I don't think it's going to last real long. And then when it comes time to replace them, I'm going to have to be buying 2 kits, cutting this one down again. And frankly, it's a bitch to get it all compressed enough to get that nut on. Although I did get a come along, which would make things a lot easier. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this bracket. I'm going to move it ahead about 1.25 inches. And everywhere that I have read, although I'm not crazy about drilling more holes in my frame. I mean, there's 2 right there from the factory, another one, they're all over the place. Although these are, one like that, it's pretty small, but everywhere I've read says it's okay to do as long as you don't drill into the radius. I can't tell if you can see this or not. As long as you don't drill into the radius of your frame, and also as long as you have at least ½ inch between edge of hole to edge of hole, which I'm going to move it 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches, so I'll have over ½ inch between the holes. Then on top of that, when I move it ahead just a little bit, these 2 holes will be covered up. If you can see that. These 2 will be covered up because I'm moving it ahead, and so there will be 2 bolts up here, and then the back 2 of the bracket will be like back here in this, this here area. So this whole section here is kind of going to be tied together. It's going to be bolted together with with this bracket. The only 2 holes that are really going to be exposed will be these 2, which I should have room. I'm gonna put a bolt washer on both sides and tighten it back up. Shouldn't be a problem. It's not like I do a lot of heavy off-road tearing around and jumping and that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's going to be an issue, and if it is, then my major fuck up, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. And I've talked to a couple engineers from work about it, and they don't think it's going to be an issue either. So the one thing you don't want to be doing is drilling in the top flange part of of your frame, which would be damn near impossible to do anyway. Yeah, I could, but anyway, I don't need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm moving this bracket ahead 1.25 inches, maybe 1 3/8, 1.5 inches, somewhere in that area. And the reason I'm doing that If you tuned in last week, you know the reason, but if you didn't, the reason I'm gonna do that, hey, I actually have a bench under all that shit that was on here. It still needs cleaned up a little better, but anyway, if you look, my wheel isn't centered in the wheel well, and it bugs the shit out of me. Now I do think when it cycles up, like if you were to totally bottom out your suspension, the way that radius arm is right there, it's angled down a little bit, and when that pivots up, it's going to push the front wheel forward. So if it was perfectly straight, it might be about right. And I did raise the tire up without the spring or shock or anything on it last week before I tightened everything up, which would be about the same distance as how far I'm going to move it today, if that makes sense. And it fit up perfectly in the wheel well. I mean, it was perfectly centered. It couldn't have been any better. And if you look real close, the coil spring, I'm not sure if you can see that. I think you can, I can. Anyway, if you look real close, the coil spring is actually angled back just ever so slightly. And those are supposed to be straight up and down, I believe. So right now it has negative caster, which, you know, as little as it is, probably doesn't make much difference, but I would rather have it up and down, and I'd rather have it centered in the wheel well. It bothers me. It doesn't look right. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to move those, and then I'll have to adjust the toe on my front wheels as it's going to push, let's see, yeah, it's going to push them out, whatever that is. I think that's positive toe. It's going to be toe out. When, if anything, with these TTB front ends on these trucks, you want a little bit of toe in. But, so anyway, I think I can get that myself without taking it. I just had it aligned, so the camber and everything is good. It'll just be towed out. So I'll need to, let's see, I'll need to shorten up the steering arms underneath there and try to get that all straightened out. If I don't feel that I get it good enough, I'll have to go get another alignment. But I've done it before and then taken it in to get it aligned, and I was pretty much right on. So I think I can get it at least good enough to run it for a little while. My main concern is that back bushing. I just don't think that it's gonna, you know, that arm does move around, and with as little amount of bushing that is actually there, I don't like it. I don't think it's gonna last very long, and I'll be constantly replacing those bushings. And I don't imagine you're supposed to have two bushings on the front either, although I highly doubt that hurts anything. So anyway, yesterday I went and I got some new Moog, got me some new drill bits too, but got me some new Moog radius arm bushings. These aren't the rubber, these are the, I guess they're poly. Pretty hard to know that, but it actually didn't say in the description that they were poly, but it said they were a heat something, I don't know, anyway. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to put that on. I'm going to move the bracket, put these on, adjust the steering, forget about it, and just enjoy driving my truck. Other thing I want to get done today, possibly tomorrow, today's Saturday, is get my emblems on, which I've been wanting to do now for about 3 weeks, and I just haven't had a chance to do it. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Not really a lot to show in the process. I mean, it's just bolts and nuts and moving that bracket. But so I will show you how things are, possibly as we go along, for sure when I'm done. But that's what we're doing here today. So I'll bring you back in when I have something to show you. Hold on. Okay, well, that really wasn't too bad. Got the new one in there. It's blue. Got the bracket moved ahead. Moved it ahead 1.25 inches. Actually, yeah, anyway, it's moved ahead 1.25 inches. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I bought some new drill bits yesterday. That helped the situation a little bit on drilling, but I think now it looks about like where it's supposed to be now. I think that looks pretty good. I may have to take that front, well, I mentioned that in the last video too, that front valance off the front, that black piece on the bottom of the bumper. I may have to take that off, but if you look at the spring, it's pretty much, you know, it's pretty well straight up and down now. And also in line with the hub. The wheel is actually turned to the right just a smidge, so it may look a little bit off, but it's, when I put it down, I unhooked the steering, so it wasn't fighting me at all. So I think that's, well, that's where it's gonna stay. Boy, those poly bushings sure tighten up a lot nicer than the rubber ones. They tighten up a lot quicker. Those rubber ones, they compress quite a bit, and the guy, you just crank on it and crank on it and crank on it, and you must not be gaining very many foot-pounds per turn of your torque wrench. But these they turned, and then all of a sudden they just got hard. And well, not just all of a sudden, but yeah, it was going real easy, and within a couple of pulls on the torque wrench, it hit 100 foot-pounds, and then I snugged it just a smidge more, and that's where it's staying. So I got to do the other side. I think that looks pretty good. I am happy with that. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. So, and I got the hole spaced out far enough that I'm not even worried about it. I'm really not. I drilled the holes out, and that's why I had a can of Rust-Oleum down there. I painted back behind that bracket because I scratched it up just a little bit, putting it on, taking it off. And then I also, the old holes, I painted the inside of them, inside the frame part there, where the bolt went through, because it was a hole. Of course, the bolt goes through it, but to try to help prevent any rust or anything, I may shoot some undercoating on it too. I use this 3M undercoating. Ah, shit, I don't have any left. I don't think. I think I showed it in a video a while back. Anyways, it's a 3M undercoating. Comes in a can. It's kind of expensive. Is that one? Kind of expensive, but it no, that's not it. It's kind of pricey, but I really like this stuff. It goes on nice and thick and heavy, and put several coats of that on. I sprayed that all up inside anywhere I had welds, so hopefully that'll at least slow it down from rusting again. So anyway, that's that for this side. I'm gonna go take a breather, and then I'm gonna come down and do the other side, and then I need to set the toe, and that's about it. And I'll tell you the way I did this, which is a hell of a lot easier than I don't know if it's the right way or if I'm asking for trouble or what, but instead of taking the spring off, and everybody tells you to take the spring off, the shock off. In the process, you'll have to take probably your brake caliper off, because when you let your suspension droop to take the spring out, you're going to be stretching that brake cable pretty good. Take all that crap off, have it up on jack stands, and then it's at least this setup anyway was still pretty difficult to get the radius arm out of the bracket. What I did, I just undid the bolt on the radius arm, and then that little L bracket right down there, I hooked one end of my come along to it, wrapped the other end around my axle right out here, right in there, and you don't have to pull on it very hard, and it'll pull it right out of that bracket for you. I've had it apart enough times that I know your shock will move. I mean, it's got rubber bushing up on top and everything on it, so it's okay to move forward. I mean, you're only doing it, what, 1.5 or 2 inches or whatever. You know, your spring, it's not hurting it at all to move a little bit. So that's what I did. It makes it a hell of a lot easier than having to take all that stuff apart and mess with it that way. So anyway, got this side done. I'm gonna go take a breather. I hear a cat. Where's a cat? There it is. Isn't that cute? Anyway, I'm gonna go take a breather, and then I'm gonna come down and do the other side, and then I want to get my badges on. So stay tuned for more exciting things here momentarily. Well, there you have it. I finally got the other side done. Hell, it's dark out now. That other side fought me the whole way. Holy cow, it did not really anything to show. It did not want to go together. Anyway, I got both sides done, and I just got to adjust my steering. But yeah, that looks a lot better. Pretty much what I was just saying before. Not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to make another video tomorrow. This video is pretty much like the one I did last week almost, but badges are going on tomorrow for sure. Let's see, I don't know, I need to take it out and drive it, let my suspension settle in, because you jack them up and set them down, sometimes they sit funny like it's doing right now. That wheel's all cattywampus. And this one doesn't look too bad. Looks like it's towed out just a smidge, and that's what I thought it was going to do. But yeah, take it out and drive it down the road and back, and then see what it looks like. It make a big difference sometimes. Anyway, that's that. I'm glad I did that. I feel better about having those Moog bushings in there like that instead of you know, doubling up the front bushing and cutting the rear bushing in half and all that. So I feel better about it. So anyway, I'm gonna throw this up online. Not actually gonna throw it up. I'm gonna put it on YouTube, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. But tune in, for it shall be exciting. Yeah, it's kind of slow right now. Please subscribe and head over to OBS Boys. OBS_BOYS. You'll find me online there. That's on Facebook. Page on Facebook. You'll find me there most of the time, and there's a lot of great people there. Not going to find all the bullshit there that you find on some sites. So if you're interested in these trucks at all, head on over there. It's OBS_boys. OBS, if you don't know, stands for Old Body Style _boys. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.